Welcome and thank you for choosing True Grit, the show about what it really takes to rise, rebuild, and stay the course when life hits hard. I'm Cleesh Morrow, a coach, storyteller, and believer in the kind of strength you can't fake. Around here, we talk about real people, real stories, and the lessons that shape us, from resilience and mindset to health and healing, because grit isn't about grinding harder, it's about who you become when you don't quit. Let's get into it. Welcome to True Grit and my special holiday series called Savor. It's about having a season of ease brought to you through these very short, potent episodes, just little snippets to get you thinking and changing a few of your habits that you might have around the holiday season, including certain thoughts and practices that you may have. But today I'm going to go over nutrition. I have other episodes we're talking about fitness and lifestyle, but today I wanted to go over nutrition specifically for immune system support because let's face it, this is a time of year where we're more prone to get sick. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why that is. But to kind of go back just a week ago, my husband was complaining about just feeling under the weather and he wasn't sure if he was coming down with anything, just like that tickle in the throat. And it never really came to fruition. And then I've got this joke that I was asking him to describe to me how he was feeling. He's like, oh, I've got this tickle. I'm just kind of feeling a little run down, a little general malaise, and that's now become a thing. And he's just like, yeah, that's right. That's how they describe it, right? It's malaise. So that's been the running joke. I'm half expecting him to start running around with like suspenders and like a big bushy beard and pipe and whatever, and just go back to our, the 1800s of the malaise. So, but with that, it never became a full-blown cold or anything. And then I think I can verify that it was in fact some sort of cold because just last night, I started feeling something similar. I started getting that like tickle in the throat, a little bit of like almost a swelling on one side of my throat, like nothing visible, but it just felt like there was something going on a little bit, and not necessarily my sinuses, but just again, like just feeling a little under the weather. And I was out at the event and I just knew I needed to get home and load up on all the things that I would normally take. And then through all of that, I woke up this morning. I actually felt a little bit better. And now as the day has gone by, I feel increasingly better. So I think that we have been able to stay on top of this, but it just gives credence to that saying of an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So we get ahead of these things. We prevent it from actually happening. And then we don't have to spend all these weeks. And I mean, yeah, you're sick for like 2 or 3 days, but how long does that linger? And you're just miserable still. You got the postnasal drip. You've still got a cough, like all these things that still linger on after you've been sick, and now you're trying to get out of that when your body's run down. So supporting your health during this time of year is just going to make the season that much more enjoyable and less stressful. I can't guarantee that everything's going to be preventable, but it's worth giving it a shot and building up your immune system while you have an opportunity to before you actually get hit. And if you've already gotten hit by it, I am so sorry. I don't know what else. I wish I had more to advise you on, but still applying these things can still be helpful as your body heals from the illness. So I'm going to start with some of the simple things, and that is namely supplements. So making sure that we're staying on top of our supplements. And I've got some things I would like, I will hopefully have a chance to link in the episode of different things I would recommend taking. For the most part, like the top of the list ends up being the vitamin D3. And I get the ones that have K2 in it as well, because D3 helps with calcium and K2 helps put it in the areas that calcium needs to go. So I like to put those two together. Normally during the wintertime, we want to up the D3 supplement. If we take it all year round, we want to have an increase in it because we're covered up during the wintertime. And couple that with where the sun is usually, and that is not giving us as much of the beneficial D vitamins that we absorb through sunlight. Now, if you're in places like Australia, obviously this all gets completely flipped around. And so our summers and winters are totally different, but still, same rules apply. But you want to increase that because that is just something that naturally goes down during the wintertime. Let's take advantage of living in the age that we live now and be able to supplement with that. And again, like getting one with a K2, so that way that the calcium in our bodies are going where it needs to go instead of being shuttled into areas that we don't want them to, like our arteries or anything like that. Other supplements are going to be magnesium. Multi B vitamin is fantastic with increasing your energy as well. It's great for your mitochondrial health. So those are some of the basic ones that I strongly recommend. And then of course your vitamin C. Vitamin C actually helps with detox. So getting in plenty of that, I do a chewable tablet myself because I don't like to die. Whenever I try to take it in pill form, I don't know what it is about those, but they are very difficult for me to take. So I just do, like I did as a kid and take the chewable version. Now, the other way that I support myself is eating enough vegetables, getting that in. I know how many times are people going to harp on you about eating your vegetables, but I'm going to take it a step further and let's focus on eating seasonable fruits and vegetables. It is amazing that nature will provide these things for us, things that we really need to support our systems during this time. So orange foods, root vegetables are really abundant at this time. Getting those carrots in, getting the different squashes in, like acorn squash, for example, butternut squash. Those are really good at helping boost the immune system. I would recommend getting some cookbooks that may have seasonal vegetable recipes in them, and that'll help give you an idea. A lot of farmers market as well, if you've got one that's still going on, those will also provide seasonal foods, fruits and veggies. There was, and I know it's not everywhere, but we had a really good delivery service for a long time that would collect from the local growers, and you never knew what you were actually getting in the basket. But it was kind of fun and interesting because you then had to go outside of the norm. Most of us go into the routine when we go to the grocery store and we start picking out the same fruits, veggies, whatever that we're used to. Hopefully you're at least doing that. If not, start getting in the habit of doing that. But it would make us look at new recipes and get a little bit more creative in what we're eating, and it just mixed it up a little bit as well. So, but those are really good sources of supporting ourselves during the year. And my final thing is actually teas. I really like different teas. Elderberry teas are really great. There's a lot of them out on the market that have all these different components in them that really help support the immune system. So definitely don't skimp over that. And there's just something nice about, if you, instead of sitting down with a glass of wine, to just have that nice, comfy, cozy cup of tea. It still serves that whole vibe of sitting around and being cozy and enjoying a beverage. In this case, it's a nice hot beverage that you can sweeten lightly with some honey or I mean, if you want sugar or whatever, it's at the end of the day, our body still sees sugar as sugar. Just as a side note, you'll get more antioxidants out of a blueberry than you will out of honey, despite all the health benefits that honey is spoken on. And there's a bunch, but it is still a sugar. So don't be too much of a stickler on which kind of sweetener you want. Just as long as you go really light on it, if any at all. That's my piece of advice on that. I usually just put like a little dollop in mine, and it's just enough to kind of sweeten it. And then along the same vein of having something nice and warm to drink in the evening, I will go get like a high quality bone broth. And you can simmer that and then sip on that. And that's really great for your gut health, which in turn helps with your immune system. So these little tips and tricks to help you stay ahead of a cold, I really like double down on all of these things if I start feeling something coming on. And then I make sure that I get to bed by a good time and I'm resting that day or that night. I get a good night's sleep best I can. And a lot of times I can get ahead of the illness itself. And of course, that is all supported by all the other things I have going on in my life with prioritizing fitness and my health overall. So again, that helps me stay ahead of the curve. But these are practices that I have incorporated into my life that have served me well. And so I want to share them with you. So with that, I hope this lands for you. I hope that this is very helpful and that you'll start to bring this into your practice as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up. I want you to have a wonderful holiday season, and especially if we can avoid getting sick this season, I'm sure it'll make it that much better. So take care, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for being here on True Grit. I truly appreciate it. If this episode sparked something in you, share it, subscribe, or leave a quick review. It helps more people find these conversations. For more ways to connect, head to true-grit.fitness or come say hi on Instagram at true.grit_bold.wellness. I'll see you next time with more stories, lessons, and a little bit of grit.